The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. When you start learning a specific skill like driving a car or a bike, for example, it will likely require you to focus your conscious mind. But after a period of time and with practice, your subconscious mind begins to control this skill and its practices become a natural or automatic task that doesn't require you to focus your conscious mind. This is a great example of conscious training of your subconscious mind. In order to harness your subconscious mind to work for you, all you have to do is to train it by repeating positive and conscious thoughts. An example of the power of the subconscious mind is the Scottish surgeon James Esdell. In the 19th century, he performed nearly 400 surgeries, all before the science of anaesthesia was developed. Yet, the death rate in his operations was incredibly low, as it reached only 2 or 3%, and all this because of his technique in convincing his patients that the operations would be successful without suffering any infection or side effects. This technique was sufficient to stimulate the response of the subconscious minds of the patients, and therefore their body's response as well. Dr. Murphy, the author of the book, was the first founder of the Power of the Subconscious Mind movement. Many philosophers, psychologists, and sociologists adopted it after him in many countries of the world. Dr. Murphy was able to help thousands of men and women to change their boring, monotonous, and sometimes debilitating lives to a life full of vitality, morals, and wealth. Dr. Murphy's principles are not theoretical principles. Rather, they are based on concepts that are proven by time and supported by examples from reality. Countless people who have applied these principles have learned how to get out of their lives the most they want. Bit to remember, your subconscious mind has an extraordinary power. If you can control it, then you can change your life for the better. Your subconscious mind is a powerful tool that you can harness to do and achieve a lot of things. All you have to do is visualize the desired result and rely on your subconscious mind to achieve it. There was an Australian boy who always dreamed of becoming a surgeon, despite the modest financial situation of his family that made it difficult for him to pursue this goal, but he used to imagine his medical degree hung on the wall and his name written on it every night before he fell asleep. In the end, this boy happened to meet a doctor from his family's friends. This doctor saw the boy's passion for the profession of medicine, so he trained him to sterilize tools and give injections, and after that, he helped him in paying the tuition fees in the medical school. Your subconscious and conscious mind must agree that your subconscious mind accepts all things that you feel they are real, and this prevailing idea is always accepted by your subconscious mind. And that's why the dominant idea must be wealth, not poverty. It's your right to be rich. You came to this world to live happily, wealthy, and free. Moreover, you must get all the things you need to live a happy and luxurious life in which you have everything. You came to this world to grow and expand your capabilities spiritually, mentally, and financially, and you have an absolute right to develop your capabilities and express yourself in all forms. And one of the most important aspects of this is to have the ability to surround yourself with the means of luxury and beauty. Your subconscious mind is always inclined towards life, and your main concern must be related to feeding your subconscious mind with true promises. You will discover that riches surround you from every side, and in order to obtain them, all you have to do is to make your mind open and notice the inexhaustible treasure within you. In your heart, there is a mine from which you can extract everything you desire to live a happy, cheerful, and rich life. Bit to remember, the great secret that great people have is their ability to communicate and unleash the powers of the subconscious mind, and you can do the same. If your mind gets used to resisting the flow of life through you, this emotional suppression will get in your subconscious mind and cause all kinds of negative circumstances. The unhappiness and chaos that pervades the world comes from the human being with his negative and destructive thinking, and it's wrong to attribute your problems and unhappiness to reasons that are out of your control. In order to be happy, you have to choose happiness and strive towards it. One day, a salesman came to seek advice from the author of the book. This salesman saw that although he constantly outperformed his colleagues, he wasn't receiving any recognition or appreciation for his work. And he blamed the belief that the sales manager was uncomfortable with him and was therefore treating him badly. The salesman's mind was filled with hostility and anger towards his manager, and eventually these negative thoughts began to block his progress. However, he realized that he had the power to choose happiness by changing his way of thinking to positivity. He began to reconcile with himself and clear his mind of any enmities and hard feelings that he had for his manager, until he began to imagine his manager shaking hands with him and smiling at him and congratulating him for his hard work. As a result, his boss called him one day and promoted him to a higher position, which gave him a huge boost in his career and his daily life. Negative thoughts are very harmful and can prevent you from achieving peace of mind. The writer tells a story that happened to him years ago when he was invited to attend a wedding ceremony. The groom was late and didn't attend, and after 2 hours, the bride shed some tears and then said to the writer, "I prayed to God to guide me and lead me to the right thing, and this may be the response to my prayers." And her reaction was full of faith and believing in God and trusting that everything that happens to a person is good and to his advantage. She didn't feel bitterness, as she told him, "Although I was eager to marry him, I thought that my marriage wasn't the right thing because I was praying to God to guide me to do the right thing, not only for me, but for both of us." This young woman overcame her crisis calmly and quietly, despite the fact that such an experience would have destroyed anyone else and would have got him through a serious psychological and emotional crisis. But to remember, life never punishes the human, but the human punishes himself with his false concepts of life and the universe, and he's the one who creates his misery. As in the case with many children, you may remember the feeling of fear that you had from dark places, or even when you were imagining some fairy monsters living in the dark. You may also remember feeling safe when your mother lights the light, showing that everything is safe. The truth is that all these fears are based on misconceptions and myths that are built in your subconscious mind. Likewise, in adults, some of the most common fears are failure and disability, which are built and lies within the subconscious mind, based on myths that are often have no foundation. Another common fear is aging, which can be overcome by changing your way of thinking. In fact, aging in itself is not getting older, rather, it's stopping your activity, dreaming, and learning new skills. The writer tells the story of a friend who was a CEO of a company. He retired at the age of 65 after spending the majority of his life studying and working. Instead of fearing his last years, this person saw retirement as an opportunity to do the businesses and hobbies that he had always wanted to do. He started taking photography lessons and he traveled the world taking pictures, and eventually he became a lecturer in this field. His simple enthusiasm for this hobby drove him to continue learning and to remain young at heart and to push his mind and body into the same path. Likewise, the author's father didn't learn French until he reached the age of 65 and then became a specialist in the language at the age of 70. And his interest in languages increased until he worked on teaching languages till his death at the age of 99. But to remember, replacing fears with positive thoughts will help you overcome obstacles and stay young forever. Thanks for watching. Please follow our social media accounts. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel.